Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video where today we are going to be doing a Q&A about
our travels to Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore and Hong Kong.
Without further ado, I've compiled all of your questions into my handy little notebook. Who writes stuff down nowadays?
Practicing our handwriting.
Not very well. There's the questions.
I can't read.
So, question number one. I feel like a school teacher stood at the front of the class.
Question one.
Question one is from Carly over on the YouTubes. And she has said quite a few questions. How did you plan on how much money to take? Did you take a credit card or exchange money in every place? And how did you feel about safety?
We just took as much money as we could, but we did have, I made sure I had 2 credit cards available, not necessarily to use, but available just in case. And I booked the hotels on one of them, and then we had a travel card which we used in each country so we could get cash out, but we did take a bit of cash with us for each country.
Place. So you don't actually have to carry loads and loads of cash around with you, because that can be a bit of a security issue.
If you lose your card, then it's just a little bit that's on there, not like your whole bank.
So you just keep loading up just a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Also, how did you feel about safety? Well, overall,
I don't think I ever felt unsafe.
That's the thing, like Southeast Asia is like super safe, super friendly, and you never really feel vulnerable at any time. Even
though I went to quite a few cities which are generally considered more unsafe, I don't think there was at any point where I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. But you obviously like keep your wits about you.
Yeah, of course. Walking around with like cameras and laptops and lenses and
you obviously make sure like your bags are tied together, and so, but
whenever
no,
you're traveling around in places you might think is a bit dodgy, tie your zips together on your backpack, so it's harder to like get unzipped.
Can't do it in one swoop. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say we felt unsafe anywhere.
Gizmo has asked a question. Most favourable part. See, this is the thing, we get asked this the most.
And it's the hardest question.
But I would have to say you have to break that down into almost 4 parts, and that is the 4 countries we went to and our favourite part in each country.
But then this also merges with someone else's.
That's what I mean, so many people ask this. Favourite place, favourite country, favourite this, favourite that.
Place in each country. So we're going to do favourite place in each country? Or are we actually
just
going to try?
Not favourite place, favourite thing.
Over the whole thing?
Favourite thing in each place.
Oh, okay. What's your favourite thing in Thailand?
It would have to be the kayaking.
It has to be the kayaking.
Just for the most memorable, epic expeditions and most tranquil,
kayaking.
Beautiful, natural places like we've ever been.
Yeah.
Malaysia.
That's so hard. I love Penang.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I just loved Penang.
Even though I'm not a tea drinker.
The tea place.
The tea plantation was a really, really cool place. I think just because like scenically it looked absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed that, and I feel like it was a really fun vlog. I feel like we made a really cool video.
It was fun.
Singapore.
Oh, the best bit.
I'd have to say Gardens by the Bay.
It would have to be Gardens by the Bay.
But Singapore was like up there. We absolutely loved Singapore. And then Hong Kong.
Oh, it'd have to be the big Buddha, the cable car with the glass floor. The
cable car with the glass floor, big Buddha. Phil S or Phil's.
Phil's.
Where would you want to go back to? Everywhere.
We could just do it in reverse
I
order.
would have literally on the final day turned around and done everything all again.
Yeah.
One thing what I definitely want to do again is the kayaking in Thailand.
Yeah. So I
just
might
because
do that for my birthday.
the different times of the year and different times of the day, you would kayaking different places because of like the tidal changes.
Tide changes. Yeah.
So like some of those tiny little caves we went through, and the tide was like moving when we were in them. We had to go out at certain times.
Yeah, there were still
every
some
time
places
you
we
go,
couldn't get to.
You would go to a different place, and I think that's what's a really cool thing about something like that, is it's constantly changing, constantly adapting around you. So that's something which I would love to go back and do again.
Definitely. I'm afraid we can't read your name because of James's handwriting.
I don't know if it's the handwriting or if it's just I can't pronounce names, but Indian Anu Pam?
You've just gone.
How much did it cost? Are you coming to India?
Probably not this year.
Probably not going to India this year.
But
it's a place where Hollie's been before.
I have been to India.
Hollie's been to India before.
Yeah,
I haven't. I'd love to go.
Loved it there. I went to Goa, but James has never been. So one day we will have to go to India. This isn't about India. But we're not on about India.
Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore and Hong Kong.
Sorry. What was the other question?
How much did it cost?
No idea.
The thing is, this whole trip, the whole 7-week trip,
we're a bit spontaneous.
Was all self-funded. We didn't get any brand deals. We didn't get sponsored. We got one night accommodation out of 7 weeks offered to us. Everything else was out of our own pocket.
Yeah. Your birthday accommodation and the kayaking was pretty extravagant.
Yeah.
So there were some things where we just go, yeah, we'll spend a bit more money to do some awesome stuff.
A lot of people did notice that we weren't staying in like cheaper places, and that's because we were away for like my birthday, and we wanted to make it a really memorable
And sometimes you would find a cheap place for, say, the equivalent of like £30, but then the really nice place would be 50, and we were like, well, let's just do it.
Yeah, we saved up for a long time. We hadn't gone travelling for quite a while before this trip, so we did save up a lot of money, and then we spent out basically.
So yeah,
I would probably say
go too cheap.
For 7 weeks, we probably spent 4 to
maybe
5.
More like 5,000,
which sounds like a lot of money, but if you think of every place we went, 4 countries, all the travelling, all the food, all drink, everything.
Yeah,
for like,
I think we did well.
But that's combined, so that's like 2,500 each. Sports Mania, favourite place in each country.
Oh, we've
already done that one. Revert back to Gizmo's question.
Back.
Sports Mania.
Your handwriting.
VJ Yank. How many days of plan? We didn't.
Well, this is true. It's like happened in several stages.
Yeah.
So obviously, before you book the flight, you have to plan where you're going to go, and that was pretty quick.
It's hard to put a time scale.
We decided pretty quickly we wanted to go back to Thailand.
Yes.
And when we very originally went to Thailand, I even bought a little book on Malaysia because I thought we were going to go down to Malaysia.
This was like 5 years ago, by the way.
So it was quite quick to say, well, should we just do that? Because we didn't ever get round to it. And then we were like, well, go all the way down and do Singapore. But Hong Kong was actually a last minute thing because originally we were flying with Emirates, where it would have been Dubai. And then when we changed airlines, we
flew Cathay Pacific.
And so we swapped in Hong Kong. So we
were
like,
they're layover places in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So we thought we put an extra 3-4 days in Hong Kong. So that was kind of like tagged on the end.
That had no planning. That was just spontaneous. You have a rough plan, and then when you're there and you're going through it, then that's when you make the actual decisions of, okay, we'll go here, not here, because we don't have time.
And I should probably point out that Holly does the planning, I do the filming and the editing. So I don't plan any of it.
So our evenings we don't
know.
Speak, because James has headphones in and he's editing, and I'm like,
this is what we're doing tomorrow. But everything, pretty much every hotel we stay in, we only book it like a day in advance, as you've seen from the actual travel videos. Some of the days we check out of one hotel, find a coffee shop and book for the hotel for that night.
Unless I'm super organised,
there might be a few days. Yeah. But like normally the first and the last hotels around like you're flying are booked, so you know where you're going to aim to.
Yeah.
Great question.
Good question.
And how much did it cost? Revert back to the other one. Vintage71 has asked best and worst food.
That's so hot. We had so much.
Flies. There's so many of them. Sorry, flies. Best and worst food.
There was so much good food.
We had some amazing food. I know we get asked a lot of questions about eating the local food and eating in the markets and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of tricky in a way because...
So the thing is our long-time viewers would know that we're kind of fussy. Yes. I'm vegan and James currently isn't eating meat.
Yes.
But we don't want to say that in every single video.
No, we don't want to be those types of people.
And we did find in Malaysia that a lot of their diet is meaty. A lot of it is meat and
spicy, and I don't eat spicy.
And James can't even handle it.
So eating like the local cuisine is quite hard for us because 1, the palate doesn't like it, and 2,
well, you don't
morally
like
don't eat it. I do have a story about the worst food, and we were in Thailand in Koh Lipe. So I just asked for this vegetarian vegetable rice dish. It came with fish sauce all over it.
We also had a side of tofu.
And I took a mouthful, and it's like if you were going to take a swig of milk and it's actually orange juice, and your taste buds just really changed. What was that? That was basically what it was like, and it was this weird fishy, horrible taste.
And you don't like fish anyway.
I'm not a great fan of fish on the best of days.
I'm sure if you like fish it would have been great, but it was just not what we wanted, and the guy did not understand that we didn't eat fish.
But the best food...
Oh, there were so many, I couldn't choose.
You can say the best food. For some reason,
I think I had the best food of my life every other day.
One of the most memorable ones was in Singapore, the waffles we ate. Not that it was the best food or anything, but it was just memorable because they were amazing.
Yeah.
But they were super cheap as well.
They were super cheap.
And we ate like 3 or 4 of them.
Some of like the cheapest food you find, like in Thailand, like it'll be the nicest curry and it'll cost you the equivalent of like £1, but it will be so fresh. And like the fruit and veg is just so fresh compared to what we get here, because obviously we don't grow mangoes.
We ship it all in. Food overall in Southeast Asia is amazing. Matthew Keast, he has asked, first time traveller. So if you're a first time traveller, what is the best place to get deals for traveling?
Obviously we're not endorsed by any brands, but what I usually do is my first port of call for hotels is start with hotels.com. Mainly because if you book 10 nights, you'll get another one free.
It's like when you go to a coffee shop and they give you a stamp, you get a free coffee on your 10th one. Same with hotels.com.
But sometimes they are more expensive, so I still check around with other ones and then book through them. And especially keep an eye out for in your emails. You occasionally get like 10% off emails.
When you're traveling, sometimes you want to get a bit of voucher action on the go.
Yeah, flight prices do tend to go up at certain times, but we have, for some strange reason, we always seem to book our flights on a Sunday.
Yes.
Because they just seem to have gone down a little bit, and then sometimes we've found like if you go to book them on a Tuesday, they will be more expensive.
Holly uses Skyscanner, which just searches loads of websites to find the best deals on flights.
But usually it tends to be the airline's own website that is the cheapest. Or we have found things like Expedia will randomly be a lot cheaper.
Yeah. No offense, but don't go to travel agents because they will put a markup on it. It does make it easier when you just say, can you just go and do it and book it all for us?
If you have the money and you don't want the hassle, you can just say to someone, do it for me. But
if you want to save money, do it yourself or get yourself a HOLLIE. Do it for you. I just noticed we've got really dark. This sun is getting a bit cloudy. Let me, oh.
It's been sunny since we've got back, and this is the first cloudy day.
Oh my God! There's so many! Peter. How much footage, great question, how much footage and how did you comb through the footage to make a story? I looked this one up earlier. I've got about 1.5 terabytes of footage on my hard drive, which we film when we're away. Video. And then there's about 230 gigs of pictures when we're away. So we've got so much footage. And how did I comb through it to create a story? Every day is its own story, so you know, or I know, when I wake up, kind of what we're going to be doing that day. For instance, Gardens by the Bay. So you know you're going to be getting to Gardens by the Bay, you're going to be going in, there's a few different domes, you're going to be going up on the walk thing, and then getting back to the hotel, for instance. You kind of know like the basic story, so I know when I'm filming, I need X, Y, and Z to basically create and tell the story.
You're filming it easier, but on days where it's like a
traveling type
like the
day,
kayaking as well. If
things
it's a surprise,
spontaneous might happen.
Those videos are more difficult because you have to plan as you go.
Yeah, you don't really know there are so many flies. You don't really know what you're going to come across, but then that's part of the story as well. Sheeps. United 666 favourite country. I think we have to revert back to Gizmo as a favourite place in each country because we can't choose. J238AC68. You need to work on your name there. It's a little bit confusing. It doesn't roll off the tongue. See any dangerous animals?
Monkeys. I don't care if you say monkeys aren't dangerous. These are savage.
The savage monkeys in Koh Lanta when they fully attacked us and almost bit us.
Really
and then we saw those like the big monitor lizards. I don't know if they're dangerous, but some people will get really freaked out because they're literally like this long lizards.
But the monkeys were dangerous. Hands down, they were.
I didn't really see anything else.
They were really dangerous.
Ooh. Also, when we were at the tea plantation, the hotel we were staying in, there's a massive spider in the toilet, which was horrible. We don't know if it was poisonous or not. It might have just been a completely harmless like house spider.
But we're going to go with it was super poisonous, and
that's why we locked the door and never went to the toilet. Andrew Sibthorpe, how did you find bartering money? Did you feel like you got ripped off?
We didn't really get any opportunities to barter.
Not really.
We only bought...
Carry on, Holly, I'm just going to waft off the flies.
We only bought a few things on the market.
We didn't really barter it that much.
We didn't really barter that
much.
Holly
bought lots of souvenirs, but...
I bought souvenirs, but in Hong Kong, it was completely different to how when we went to Thailand the first time and bartered. Because in Hong Kong, you literally just go, no, I'm okay. And they'll just like half the price.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, okay. So there wasn't really much effort to make them drop the price.
And the thing is as well, is when you're bartering, you need to think to yourself, like, is it worth saving yourself 5p? When you get out of like an airport or like a dock or anything, there will be taxi people all over you.
If you have the option, work out if your hotel is walking distance and walk.
And walk away from the taxi people because the people who are like preying on those new people who've just come off an airplane or off of a boat or something. They will rank up the price by like at least double. So we
probably might 3 times the price, I think. Is
so
what we
basically got off and we were like, okay, yeah, just take us to the hotel. Say it's going to be 20 whatevers. I don't even know what country this was in. When we actually got in the taxi and he drove us there, it should have only cost us like 8.
Said 8, but he was like, no,
he already
20,
charged us 20 because we already agreed the price before we got in. So if you can,
we were foolish.
Use a meter, or 2, just walk and not get ripped off.
But also our hotel was too far to walk, so
at that point,
just got the taxi.
Catalin, favourite part of each... Caitlin? Favourite part of each trip? Kind of already answered those bits. Where would you recommend visiting? Everywhere. Best part about visiting the different countries is just seeing how different people live, different cultures, different religions, different everything, different food. It just really opens your eyes and makes you appreciate life in a whole new light, and makes you think differently about stupid things that might annoy you being at home. Really like mundane, normal things. Yeah, like you don't even think about like when you're traveling. Like it really.
It does broaden your horizons.
There's like a cliche like quote of like traveling broadens the horizons,
but it really does. Quotes are kind of true.
It honestly does. You got that flight. Sorry, can't follow up.
So the other good thing about visiting like Malaysia and Singapore is just seeing how so many different religions were just all together. So you would get like mosques, churches, Chinese temples, Indian temples, or Hindu temples, all on like the same street. Yeah. And they would all go and visit each other's places of worship, and I thought that was really eye-opening.
And it kind of proves the point that the media is kind of brainwashing people about certain things. So
it was very eye-opening, and
that's the best thing about traveling, is it opens your eyes to the whole world. Diego, I think. Where would you go back to and stay longer? We've kind of answered that as well. Everywhere, all of them. Okay, Sam Brown asked best and worst thing you ate.
So go back.
Go back. Vintage 71
the fish
also
tofu was the worst.
That was pretty minging. So at this moment in time, that was all the questions we've been asked. So thank you guys for asking those amazing questions. Hopefully we've enlightened you just a little bit about our Southeast Asia trip. Yes. But in 2 days' time, for us anyway, we go on an adventure.
Again.
A new one. A new travel trip. To new countries.
Yeah, there's 2 new countries that I'm going to. You've got 3 because I've already been to 1.
We haven't actually announced on the channel where we're going.
No.
I have been doing a little sneaky Twitter posts.
Places you've never seen before.
So if you want to know, head over to Twitter and see some places. But the next video will be us explaining our next travel trip. So thank you guys for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up, and I really hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves today, and hopefully those answers have answered some of your questions you had boiling inside you over the past 7 weeks. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one when we announce where we're going. Till next time, cheerio! How do we end videos now?
I don't know, should we just keep going?
Should we just walk backwards?